Nah.
Unfortunately, chat, Kinders is gone, so we have brought in Shiroi. Hi, Shiroi.
Well, it seems I didn't know that I was here. I was just here in case of an emergency option.
Well, actually, I wasn't sure what video I wanted to do today, and when I saw that Mother's Basement had one about fixing gamer fantasy anime, and there's a giant section in it complaining about guilds, I was like, you know what, this kind of feels like up Shiroi's alley a little bit.
It actually is, honestly, because I'm actually fairly invested in, the topic, honestly, because, in my opinion, yes, guilds can be a bit overdone, but at the same time, not bad by design.
Exactly. Also, before we start chat, I just wanted to share this with everybody because it is kind of my little side thing. Pal World has released another new pal. Look at her.
What?
Isn't she wonderful, chat?
They keep making them cutty for some reason.
Oh, they know people love Dizzy. Dizzy was one of the best ones. I saw some people say that she was a God of War ripoff.
This one?
Yeah.
That's a leap. That is a massive leap. I'm sorry. Like,
It is.
vaguely humanoid, which we've got a couple of those as it is. It's like, okay, the nubs for feet. Okay,
I love her,
I
though.
guess.
To be
Yeah,
fair,
that's
you
good.
never really see Gardevoir's feet, actually.
That's because she doesn't have any.
Yeah. He, like, hovers. All vaguely humanoid Pokemon are Gardevoir.
Look, if it looks like something that you could do it with, it's just a Gardevoir ripoff.
True. Thank you, Nerdy Text and Accountant, for the 5. Hello, my favorite, sometimes Japanese Puddle. The previous stream was changed to Japanese again. Also, hi, Shiroi. Also, somebody in chat said Lolita Goth Gardevoir.
I mean, yes, I can kind of get that. I'm kind of getting a bit of maid vibes as well, you know, because the little bit on the top of the head there. Yeah, 1.0's looking pretty good so far. I am very excited to be gaslit into using subpar pals exclusively because they're cute.
Oh yeah, exactly. Also, apparently in the Powered 1.0 trailer, it shows the player throwing a PAL ball, so Nintendo definitely lost the lawsuit. So here's the thing.
Okay,
You've always been able to throw them.
Yeah, like throwing to capture or throwing to send a PAL out? That's the big question.
Yeah, the thing that was changed is you can't throw it to send a PAL out. You can throw it to capture them, though. That never got changed.
Which was still always pretty, like, you know, it's very specific, very broad.
The lawsuit is still ongoing, though, because Nintendo won't give up. They're being massive babies about losing.
Okay, here's the real question. So it comes out, like we finally get our verdict. Retrial.
I hope not.
What are the odds? What are the odds?
Yeah, but you gotta think, chat, that's still just like a trailer thing. We won't technically know until release.
It's it. Look, just so you know, they still throw PAL spheres in the boss intros. Don't, like, you know, just because it shows up in that. And just remember, we can always mod it back in.
Exactly. However, if 1.0 releases and all the mechanics kind of come back in on 1.0, that's basically them sending a middle finger to Nintendo and saying you can't do anything. Which I hope they do. I think that would be really funny.
It would be very funny. I do agree.
But chat, you're gonna watch Mother's Basement, called Fixing Gamer Fantasy Anime.
I am so excited.
And the first one he shows is Freerin. So I'm curious what he's gonna claim are specifically gamer fantasy anime. Because you have to bring up Konosuba.
By the way, Mizu, what platforms do you live on right now? Just trying to confirm.
YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
Okay. I think I should be good just keeping the Twitch chat open, because I think I just see everything then.
Yeah, no, everything gets linked into one chat, even though technically I'm not supposed to. But if I get banned for Twitch for that, I'm just gonna go somewhere else.
That was only if it's shown on screen. It's a really weird, specific thing over there.
It's technically on screen behind us.
Not as fair.
However, all the Twitch messages are listed as from Twitch and by Restreambot, so... What does he mean by gamer? We're gonna have to learn. I can only assume Konosuba.
I'm guessing it's that trope where you take it's very common in a lot of isekai where the protagonist is taken into a world, there's levels, there's UI stuff, it's very gamer coded. I blame Sword Art Online.
Yeah. We shall see, we shall see.
On the last episode of Mother's Basement.
Don't do this. No, but nobody gives a shit.
I feel like I missed a few. I feel like I've missed a few minutes. We're just going in like this. Jeez.
Yeah, this is the first 3 seconds.
Jeff Thu declared the golden age of anime to be right the f*** now. However, while he was working on that video,
there's like 3 good anime right now.
Also, golden age of anime. 2005.
Yeah. It's like right now we have Frieren, Delicious in Dungeon.
We're in a dark age, okay?
Yeah. We've got like 2 good anime right now.
And none of them won any awards because Korea.
Exactly.
Anyway.
One thing did keep bothering him. Well, 2 things, actually. I hate talking about myself in the third person. And the second thing is, of course, those fucking things. You know, there's a guy in the hero's party. He gets banished for how his inconveniently huge keeps tripping him up in fights right after.
This is literally one anime. What are you talking about? He's acted like this is something that you see in all kinds of anime. There's literally one anime with this premise right now. And it's the Jack of all trades anime, which, from what I saw, looks kind of interesting.
After leaving, he discovers he can blast ropes that take the head off a dragon at 50 paces. 3 to 7 gorgeous women start riding around everywhere on his dick. And either by design or by accident, he ends up trapping his former companions in the salty, hot glue of revenge before the story's through. That sort of thing. Though, the sort of thing that I just described, you know, the one with the thing, would probably be more fun than most of the actual fucking things that get made these days. There's a lot of problems to talk about regarding this oddly specific subgenre, not the least of which being how Columbine-y the whole vibe can get, but
what?
Columbine, that's an incredible adjective.
What?
I am adding that to my personal dictionary. Columbine-y, let's go.
It gets very Columbine-y. Shut the fuck up. What?
Okay, like
Jeff.
Guy vows vengeance. Okay, suddenly it's Columbine because he's below the age of 18, I guess.
Ignoring how stupid that comparison is, Jeff, there isn't a single person left in your audience that's old enough to know what Columbine is. Let's be real. God, that is not where I thought this was gonna go.
That is incredible. I think it is all downhill from here. I'm gonna be honest.
Chat, I was gonna start this stream by saying, well, this is a video from a couple days ago, so let's see if Jeff's opinions have gotten any better in the anime space. We're starting off with this.
Columbine, just incredible.
the biggest problem for my money is how video gamey the vibe tends to be as well, which just...
That's the point. I mean, you're showing this. It's literally the point. It feels very video gamey, because it is!
Yeah, I mean that's typically the aesthetic that the authors are going for in these in a lot of these anime.
Like, if you don't like that it's a video game, you don't watch it. But it's like you see this window and it's like, huh, this feels kind of video gamey.
They don't typically hide their inspirations, you know? It's just how things are.
Yeah, chat, too much water in Subnautica, 7 out of 10.
It's like, oh my god, my anime that was probably made by somebody who's a self-admitted otaku feels video gamey. The world is over.
What is he doing?
So we're clear, Mr. Fox News has nothing to do with the Columbininess of it all. Those are two separate issues.
What does that mean? I gotta go back. What does that even mean?
Columbining it? I mean, I guess like the protagonist gives school shooter vibes, but like.
But they said Fox News has nothing to do with the Columbininess of it. What does that have, what does that mean?
Like.
But the biggest problem,
No,
for my money, is
I don't know
how
why I
video
didn't-
gamey the
why I don't
vibe
watch this
tends
guy
to
anymore.
be as well. Which, just so we're clear, Mr. Fox News has nothing to do with the Columbininess of it all.
I guess he's saying like. The person who's gonna call him woke or whatever.
I have no idea where he's going with this. It sounds like he's trying to say, just so we're clear, Fox News, just because it's video gamey doesn't mean it's Columbine-y.
Like.
Do you think Fox News is watching anime? Do you really think, like... I love quoting this. It's the one thing Milo Yiannopoulos said that has lasted in my mind for years. The average age of a Fox News viewer goes up 1 every single year.
Yeah, it does.
Literally nobody new is watching the channel. It is literally just all old people. Do you really think any old people know dick about anime? Also, yes, Archmagos, you are in fact the one that's making that link. I don't know why you're trying to call out Fox News for it.
Those are two
This
separate
game's
issues.
going right out of the gate. Like seriously,
Yeah, we're only a minute 30 in.
I can't even follow. Like, God.
Far more so than even your average isekai, where it is still very much a problem. These fucking things are absolutely lousy with RPG elements in their world building that is, for the most part, pretty lousy too. It's not impossible to build a believable, lived-in world on video game logic, but it sure is a whole lot easier to just not do that. And the problem isn't limited to stat screens. It's all the blatantly artificial video gamey tropes that come part and parcel with them, any one of which can rip you right out of an anime's world if you think about it for even a moment longer than the writer obviously did. Now, is the ubiquity of these fucking things, and isekai in the same vein, enough to make me rethink calling this a golden age? Absolutely not. There is so much good fantasy on right now with none of this gamer nonsense in it.
It's funny that you show 2 anime that are both extremely gamer nonsensey. Specifically Delicious in Dungeon.
Yeah, isn't that one like extremely gamer heavy?
It's literally based off old tabletop. Not Dungeons and Dragons, surprisingly. It comes from an older one, apparently, according to the author.
Every JRPG's original
Oh, sorry, it's a
ancestor-
slightly newer one. It's based on wizardry. Which is
wizardry.
technically based on Dungeons and Dragons as well, but the author specifically said they knew wizardry, they didn't know Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, no, that's wizardry was the original JRPG.
I'm not saying it's not good, and I'm not saying it's not better than some of the lower effort isekais, but to say it's not video gamey when it's literally based off an old tabletop, like I guess you're arguing because it's not a tabletop, because it's a tabletop and not technically a video game that it's different. But no, it's literally based off games. Like I don't know what you're doing here. And knowing that like this giant section in the center of the video here, chat, is all about guilds. I don't know how you can put Freerun in this category either. Like, one of the first main plots of Freerun is they have to go get, like, their wizard pass.
Hey, I didn't know you needed a pass for that. I just kept saying it. Like, what the frick?
Like, that's the whole first plot of it, and you're like,
By the way, Mizu, it's wizard for those who don't have passes. I'm sorry, that was low hanging fruit.
W pass.
But as a
There
gamer
were.
who does love him some nonsense, it pains me to see just how bad most of this stuff gets. Which is why today I want to do my part to fix the problem by exploring exactly what these anime are doing wrong and how some better stories do it right. And one of the positive examples I'll be using throughout the video also happens to be one of the most exciting sponsors I have ever worked with, Chrysalis by Rhino Z.
Alright.
You are okay. So I've talked about this before, and other people have been talking about this on Twitter recently because of a new animation that came out that tried to shit on the glitch gamer thing, Gamerverse. You do not do a product any justice when the first thing you tell somebody about it is it's better than the other stuff. That immediately puts people in an adversarial position towards it. This is like an absolute shit sponsor plug.
Well, my thing is like, dude, you're just kind of walking in with the sponsor? Like, geez, man. Have some self-respect or something. It kind of kills me just like, because like, suddenly I'm over here like, so can I actually trust your opinions in this?
Yeah. Thank you, by the way, Internet
Christ.
Zen, for the 10. It says, Mizu, what is this torture you're subjecting us to? This guy is belly aching about something I've seen in the harem fantasy books, and it works perfectly in them. Why is he attacking simple tropes? Because he doesn't like anime. He really doesn't.
He likes the idea of anime because he wants to be a part of a community that genuinely he was never a part of.
Yeah.
He was like this is the guy who I recall was the originator of Sword Art Online hate.
He sort of is. He used to suck it off for a while.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I am.
And then he like immediately 180'd when people started hating it.
Oh, okay. So he's so he just follows what everybody else does. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You haven't heard me gush about it before. Chrysalis is one of my personal all-time favorite lit RPG web novels, which follows this kid named Anthony who gets reincarnated as a monster ant in this dungeon the size of a planet and slowly builds his humble colony up into a utopian global empire where every citizen gets 8 hours of sleep a night or else. The books are just a delight to read.
So it's basically the ant version of So I'm a Spider.
That was exactly what I was thinking. I mean, it doesn't sound the same, but it definitely does. I can see the inspired by on it.
Yeah.
And especially
But hey,
listen
you know
to
what?
carried
Nothing
by
wrong with being
rock-solid
inspired.
action writing, sardonic Aussie wit, and more beautiful.
Oh my god, it's Australian.
Well, that's it. I hate it. It's terrible now.
There's so many of these reincarnation to monster series. It's specifically because of So I'm a Spider, So What? Because it was
Well,
so
yeah.
good, and everybody's like, "Oh, I could do that."
Which, fun fact, originally started as a web novel.
Mm-hmm.
Beautifully tortured ant puns than you can shake an antenna at. All of which are further enhanced by the unrivaled audiobook performances of Sound Booth Theater, who also offer IMO the best way to get into the series through their phenomenally generous box set, which gives you the first 3.
Look, chat. I've talked about this before. I am illiterate. I cannot read. However, I don't need an audiobook for a visual novel. That's weird.
That actually, wait. Why don't just do a freaking, what is it? Why don't just do a freaking web novel then? Or, wait, no, not web novel. Webtoon.
I don't know what this is. Like, he's not explaining it very well at all. It looks like it's just a generic webtoon but then it's a literary RPG, and we had to have we had to have fucking voice acting for it. You're not selling me.
I believe lit RPG is the specific genre where like it's a it kind of knows that it's supposed to be in an RPG sort of setting.
I'm a bit iffy on calling it that.
I don't know.
Thank you, Heavenly Jester says, I unironically like Afuruta as a so bad it's good thing. Hajime might be edgy, but dude went through hell, more shit than most war vets go through. Most people would be more gritty after that. And then he made another super chat that says would be more gritty, asterisk, not wouldn't. He's glazing a series that does the same things, but with ants. I'm not saying, like, just so we're clear, I'm not saying it's a bad series. I have not read it. I would have to sit down and actually read it. The thing is, he's not selling me.
He's not really doing it justice because of the framing that he has put this in.
Yeah, he's framed it as like, oh, this is so much better than those other shitty RPG anime, and it's like, it sounds the same. Like, if you actually watch those other anime, it sounds right about the same. It literally is just So I'm a Spider, So What, but with ants. I'm not saying that's bad.
Look, originality is dead, okay? So yeah. I'm not gonna, like, I'm not gonna give you any, like, I'm not gonna give you too hard of a time over it, but still.
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
You're supposed to be selling me on it. You're making me not want to look at it.
You are making me actively root against this series purely because you said Australian, and now I just feel like I'm required to hate it now.
Yeah.
Audiobooks. That's 55 hours of listening for just one Audible credit. As somebody who is addicted to audiobooks, it's like the best value I have ever found in the app. With the hotly anticipated latest book, Ant-Dustrial Revolution, due out on Kindle July 15th, there has never been a better time.
This is also a sort of complaint I have, because this is in the background here what I'm assuming the actual artwork looks like. I do not like the covers of these books.
Yeah, I'm not really vibing with the art, honestly. Wait, so the art is hyper-realistic and the covers, but like...
But it's kind of like generic anime on the inside.
When honestly, not even really like... really generic anime, honestly, if I can be brutally honest. Like, this is just me going in with not any experience whatsoever, knowing nothing about this series, but like... The art's, present. That is the best way to describe it. It is present.
That'll be my actual advice to whoever's writing these books. If I saw a book with this artwork on the front of it, I'd be like, fuck, that's so generic. I've seen a bajillion books with that art. I don't like it.
Yeah, no, it's very, honestly.
Book Ant-Dustrial Revolution, due out on Kindle July 15th. There has never been a better time to get into Chrysalis, and I was recommending this shit months before they paid me to do it, so you know I mean that. And having said that, my sponsorship obligation is now technically out of the way, so you also know that every time I reference it from now on is purely for the love of the game. And, of course, for the colony! To understand why so many modern...
That was cringe, and you made me not want this.
I am dying of cringe right here. You know something? I've had enough of that in Helldivers. I am done. Okay?
You know what actually really kills me when I'm seeing this? So I'm assuming these are what the ants really look like.
Sponsorship obligation is now technically out of the way, so you also know that every time I reference it from now on is purely...
And then this is our main character. Which literally is So I'm a Spider, So What?
Yeah.
So for people who don't know, in So I'm a Spider, So What, the main character actually does look like a horrifically evil spider. But she imagines herself as like this cute little kawaii spider. Because it's just in her head, that's how she wants to picture herself. But that's not actually how she looks. She actually does look like genuinely horrific. I'm also a little iffy on the ant having such, like, human poses in it. One of the good things with So I'm a Spider, So What is that she has to, like, act like a spider. She has to learn how to walk on like 8 legs and crawl up walls and use her web. She can't just like stand on her back legs and like, make poses and shit.
I don't think that mechanically works because I don't know if the ants typically have ball and socket joints at the shoulders.
Fair. I don't know much about ant biology.
Maybe you do. I don't know.
For the love of the game. And, of course, for the colony! To understand why so many modern fantasy...
cringe again!
Exactly.
Mizu, why are you putting me through this?
If he does the ant thing and he doesn't bring up So I'm a Spider, So What as a good example of anime that do it, I'm gonna be upset. Like, genuinely.
This guy deserves to be crucified if he doesn't, because seriously, for one, that is cultural imperialism.
It also does the video gaming thingy super interestingly, because for Kumiko, she like loves all the video game elements and she just sees them as a video game elements. I think one of the best episodes in the series is where she has to eat another spider to survive, and she gets like the cannibalism title, and she's like, oh my god, that's so awesome, I got a new title. But then one of her friends who got reincarnated into like a little dragon has to bite another dragon to save her friends, like on the neck or something. And then she gets the cannibalism title, and it like horrifies her. And she's like, "Oh my god, I'm a cannibal!" Like, I know that I technically had to do it, but it's just like such a heavy thing for me. And it just cuts back to Kumiko, like, "Hey, new title. What other new titles can I get?"
Remember, cannibalism is based.
It's so funny. And I want... It's such a good example of it. Title is a passive skill called Taboo. Yeah, but it like, mentions cannibalism. That's what horrifies the little dragon girl.
Anime are like this, you first need to understand why JRPGs are like that, which all comes back to 1981 and the releases of Ultima and Wizardry, the most influential PC RPGs of all time, especially in Japan. That might come as a surprise, since neither series saw an official release there until 1985, after homegrown games like Lizard, Mugen no Shinzo, Tower of Druaga, Hydlide, and Dragon Slayer had already taken root, and right before
at least he's got his history right.
Highlight mentioned.
Yeah, actually naming Wizardry is an impressive start. See, I would say it's an impressive start. The problem is if you search, like, I'm pretty sure if you go to the Wikipedia article for like history of Japanese RPGs, the first thing that pops up is Wizardry.
Well, it's because it's not exactly uncommon knowledge. This is something that if you have any like vague understanding of how JRPGs and the evolution of them are, Wizardry is very often cited as like the earliest ancestor to the modern JRPG.
Yeah, it's one of those things that if I am researching a video on Japanese RPGs, this is literally the first thing that pops up in the search. It's not that impressive. I will give him that he got it right, so thumbs up, got it right.
Yeah, but it's like, you can read. Congratulations.
You have met the lowest bar possible. Wonderful.
Dragon Quest would turn console
now let's watch him trip on something even lower.
Phenomenon, but none of those games would exist in the first place if Japanese computer nerds like Yuji Horii hadn't fallen in love with import copies of Ultima and Wizardry earlier in the decade. Everything about Japan's divergent branch of the genre stems from that point. In the West, the fundamental ethos of CRPGs has always been emulate the tabletop experience, with deeper character customization and eventually more role-playing options. But the Japanese never had that experience to begin with, not until TSR tried and mostly failed to bring D&D to their shores in the mid-80s, when the JRPG boom was already underway. So in Japan, the ethos for designing RPGs has always been build a better Wizardry and or Ultima, which led them to more
that does feel a little reductive. A little bit.
I'm not gonna sit down and
All
say
Japan has ever
I've-
done is try to copy wizardry.
I haven't. I have not played Wizardry, so I can't know how accurate this statement is. But I'm also pretty sure he hasn't played Wizardry, so I think it's a bit sus on his end too.
Yeah.
Because, let's be honest, nobody plays jank old school RPGs. You know what? I should play Wizardry. I should play Wizardry sometime.
Yeah, like, I'm not saying that,
Add me
like,
to the
it didn't...
list.
There's a difference between defining a genre and just trying to copy it. Because JRPGs have been trying to iterate for years. It's just hard to iterate the actual combat experience without making it not a JRPG.
Without making it something completely different, basically.
Yeah, like, it's hard to iterate on the concept of JRPG without just not making it a JRPG.
Like a pretty solid example, in my opinion, is Expedition 33, and the fact that it kind of negates the existence of an enemy phase.
Yeah.
At least on the higher end.
Wizardry stream win. You're gonna have to ask Shiroy for that one. I'm not one for, like, the old jank games.
Yeah, we'll see if I actually am willing to put up with that, because I admit I don't really care for Final Fantasy, and if it's a lot like Final Fantasy, it's like, we'll see how well I keep paying attention.
It's like inventing a new color. It's like inventing a new color that is an iteration on an existing color. It's like saying, I want to make a new blue. Not just a new color, it's I want to make a new blue. And it's hard to do that without making it too similar to the original blue, or so different that somebody's going to be like, oh, that kind of looks more green to me.
Well, clearly the answer here is to tell the other person that they're stupid and blind and they wouldn't know what blue looked like if it freaking attacked them in a dark alley. Like, seriously.
Chat saying Wizardry is sort of like Etrian Odyssey.
Ah, that actually doesn't surprise me. I think that has come up a lot in my Etrian Odyssey streams. Because I do like Etrian Odyssey. That's been my current one of my current series.
I've seen it. I still need to sit down and, like, play through all of it.
Look, man, it's got some of the best artwork, okay?
Video game-centric innovations like action RPGs and linear cinematic narratives told through complex in-engine cutscenes much sooner than Western devs who were busy going all in on more text-heavy, player-driven stories. But Wizardry and Ultima didn't just give Japan its first taste of role-playing, they were also foundational to its entire fantasy fandom. Of course, Japan had produced plenty of fantastical films and shows in the preceding decades, inspired by various mythologies and fairy tales from around the world, but as far as that medieval European capital F style of fantasy went, Lord of the Rings was translated in the 70s around the same time as Earthsea and some other influential Western epics, which did go on to inspire some important Japanese literature, most notably 1979's Gwyn Saga, a legendary light novel series.
I feel like he's reading all of this off of a page.
Yeah.
Because he's not really explaining anything. He's just like, this happened, and this happened, and this happened. It's like...
I can see now why so many YouTubers are anti-AI. I could have asked Grok to make this video.
Yeah. Like, there's no, like, deeper explanation on it, or there's no, like, well, here's how, you know, the Japan reacted to it kind of thing. There's no way he knows Gwyn Saga. There's a good chance he doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, granted, I'll be honest, like, I can be a little bit, like, you know, iffy on what I know sometimes, but, like...
Yeah, I'm not saying you have to know everything. It's just one of those things where it's kind of like... I feel like you're just sort of reading off of a page somewhere. Like, that you found all this information. I love the new version of Gwyn Saga, but the author died? Rip. Oof.
Ah, man!
Oh, that's rough.
I was expecting some fun, just talking smack about Mother's Basement. You gotta drop that on me.
that is still running today at 150 volumes and counting. But all these books were a niche within a niche at a time when genre fiction was almost entirely synonymous with science fiction to the Japanese. Aside from a few exceptions that emerged around
What is this? It's got this guy riding on a motorcycle next to a horse.
synonymous with science fiction to the Japanese. Aside
Is that a motorcycle? With like one of those windshields on it?
Dude, you get isekai, the only thing you can bring is your motorcycle. But then you run out of gas because it's a bit of a process to manufacture gasoline.
That's so funny.
Peak isekai concept, though.
I feel like he just summarized a VTuber on this, or a video on this. It sounds familiar, even the order of the series mentioned. If the order of the series mentioned is similar, it is a good chance that all of this is listed out in an article or Wikipedia page somewhere.
I'd guess Wikipedia, personally.
Yeah, possible.
from a few exceptions that emerged around the same time and out of the same nerdy zeitgeist as the first wave of JRPGs, swords and sorcery stuff only gained the cultural clout needed to justify, for example, making a whole mess of anime out of it after the gaming boom began, with some of the earliest hits being adaptations of Dragon Quest, Dragon Slayer, and Wizardry. While the West sees stat screens and other gaming conventions as an offshoot of the foundational works of fantasy, in Japan, games are the foundation. So when, for example, the Adventurers Inn and Gilgamesh...
I think you're coping a little bit here, because the stat screen thing really took off with SAO.
Yeah, like, and even then, if that's the case, then... So you're gonna sit down and try to, like, tell them how they should do stuff? This is kind of like...
Yeah.
The arrogance is ridiculous, I'm gonna be honest.
Like, I'm not saying there were anime previously that didn't do, like, the gamer stat screen thing. I mean, like, there's Dot Hack, for God's sake. But to say, like, that it's just been, like, this big staple of anime for so many years, it really hasn't. It really just kind of kicked off with SAO, and then a bunch of people started doing it. To be fair, Dot Hack did not have the stat screen in the anime, you are correct. But it is as close as we're getting. It's as close as we're getting to it. Is there a point to all this chattering? It's the history, apparently.
Also, he needs to get that out. He needs to get those view numbers up.
True. Also, thank you.
Watch hours up.
Thank you, Internet Zen. It says, inhales a smell Wikipedia. This guy gives me One Mind Syndicate vibes, and I hate it. I actually don't know who One Mind Syndicate is. That's a new one for me.
I take it they're not good, though.
Ash's Tavern from Wizardry 1 were amalgamated into Patty's party planning place in Dragon Quest 3, and the idea was then standardized as the Adventurers Guild.
You're not giving Wizardry credit for the existence of taverns. I'm not saying Wizardry wasn't influential, but what the fuck are you talking about?
Like I'll put it this way: at best, it's just a semantic argument.
Mm-hmm.
Like where you're just saying, "Oh man, everybody's doing it." It's like, yeah, tavern, any place where people meet up and just be like, you know, hey, let's start a party together.
Yeah. Like, there have been multiple other places in games where the party, quote-unquote, meets up. Sometimes
like
it's hotels, sometimes it's, like, campsites. Like, there's been lots of other places that do it.
It's just...
Also, Alex the Kiddo says, you're in a dungeon for the entirety of Wizardry. What? If that's true, that just makes it worse.
by other games in need of party recruiting and questing hubs, it was only natural for fantasy books and anime to adopt the concept as well, often with very little thought put toward how such a thing might actually, work outside of a video game. Now, guilds in general...
Also, what do you suppose the odds are he's going to end up turning this into one of those videos where somebody who is probably an author is going to sit down and give an extremely long-winded explanation of how you should make something work realistically?
Yeah. I have a feeling he's going to say that guilds don't make sense when they kind of do.
It does make sense because, of course, there'd be some level of bureaucracy if something's common enough.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine the logistics of actually traveling between countries without any kind of, legal representation or papers or anything to help keep things smooth so you don't end up getting arrested up for something that's frankly stupid and very specific to where you're going? I considered this.
Chat says he's either going to bring up Shield Hero, SAO, or Redo. He's not going to bring up SAO, and he's not going to bring up Redo. He's not going to bring up SAO because of the whole Columbine thing at the start. He's definitely looking for more revenge-focused animes. And he's definitely not going to bring up Redo because it's borderline hentai. I don't know if can I? Yeah, there you go. Closed captioning for you. Somebody in chat asked for it.
That one's the best out of all of the genres. Borderline hentai.
Exactly.
My parents
not to be
just walked into the room. Oh no.
Not to be confused with ecchi. They're technically different. There's ecchi and there's borderline hentai and there's hentai.
Ecchi is mildly lewd. Borderline hentai is there's a pretty half decent chance you are very likely to see a nipple at some point.
Obviously had a place in the medieval societies that fantasy strives to emulate, but the logic that justified their existence doesn't necessarily apply to adventuring, and we know that because there were no guilds for the real-world equivalents of adventurers. In wartime, mercenary companies had very little reason to form regulatory bodies with other mercenaries they were probably going to be trying to kill next week, plus that they already had a pretty standardized apprenticeship program of here's a spear, try not to die.
So, the reason you're completely wrong is anime adventuring parties are not for fighting roving bands of mercenary companies. They're for fighting mythical monsters that literally exist in the anime world, are not human, and can't be reasoned with.
I also personally interpret the concept of the adventure to be a little bit more in line with people who do odd jobs.
Yeah.
Like some of those jobs can be a little bit more fantastical than others, but when you really sit down and think about it, the kinds of just there's the kind of random quest. It's that's at least how I kind of feel like they differentiate themselves more from what would be traditionally understood as a mercenary.
The way I've always saw it is that it's basically like a collection of quests to do for people to make money. And it's a way for cities to kind of offload the busy work onto temp workers, pretty much.
Yeah, basically. It's basically fantasy temp work.
Yeah, and well, what about roving bands of mercenary companies? It is a fictional world that has dragons and shit in it, dude. They need fantasy.
Companies can exist in their own area too,
Yeah, they need fantasy temp workers to go out and deal with the roving band of goblins that just invaded some border city or border town.
Because nobody else can be bothered to do it.
Yeah. And if the adventurers who you send out to go do it don't come back, just send out another group.
Nothing's lost!
Yeah, nothing. You didn't have to pay them. Just send out another group.
Frankly, it's a very good deal, honestly.
Thank you, Internet Zen. Guilds are for dealing with mythical monsters, bandits, etc., etc. Also, an adventurer fits the role of the knights errant in our world, not mercenary. Also true, also true. I feel like he's not understanding the like the actual purpose of the guild, which is weird because it's not complicated.
Are also army padding for the most part.
Yeah. It confuses me that he's not understanding the purpose of the anime guild, because it's intentionally chosen that way because it's supposed to be so simple, even an idiot with very little understanding of the world can latch onto it.
Okay, but you have to understand, this guy isn't an idiot with very little understanding of the world. He's something significantly dumber than that.
True.
He's a midwit. He has average IQ and is therefore susceptible to asking too many questions, but not the right questions.
Chat has clarified it's much worse. Be patient with him. He's Canadian.
Oh, no. It's retarded.
And in peacetime, most of them were too busy being bandits to build bureaucracies. Of course, having loads of monsters to hunt instead of killing people could potentially change that calculus, but historically speaking...
Yeah, sure, like having a bunch of monsters and shit roving around the countryside might change your opinion on that. But historically in the real world, I don't give historically in the real world. They have a roving band of skeletons killing through the countryside. It's kind of a massive point to the whole thing.
Hunting
it's basically equivalent to just wildlife at this point. I imagine for them it's just about as mundane as it gets.
Wait, what are we talking? We're talking about hunting now? What?
Killing people could potentially change that calculus, but historically speaking, hunting was the near exclusive privilege of the nobility, in part because...
This is not hunting, you idiot!
Yeah, the nobility with a bunch of horses and tracker dogs hunting a singular fox is pretty much the same thing as fighting an army of skeleton demons. The nobility would love to sign up for that shit. What are you talking about?
The nobility do stuff that makes them, like, feel like they're not useless. Like, what the frick is your what are you talking about?
What are you talking? Hunting was an exclusive activity of the nobility. Yeah, well, they're not hunting like
also,
foxes.
To be honest, okay, listen, here's the context. If the nobility encounter a particularly the ravenous bear that has wiped out several other hunting parties just because, just freak of nature sort of situation. Are the nobility going to do this? They're probably going to get somebody who's a little bit more skilled on that one. Somebody who isn't them to go bleed over this.
Also, I have to clarify before chat reams me out on it. I am well aware that hunting was not something for only the nobility. I don't think that Jeff understands that for most of history, humans were hunter-gatherers. If you don't know what that means that they hunted and they gathered. And everybody had to do that because that was the only way we were going to eat.
They built small kitchen appliances?
Yeah. What is he? Traditionally, only the nobles got to hunt. No, bitch, everybody had to hunt. That was how they ate. Yes, nobility had hunting as a sport. But that's kind of like saying that, well, lifting was a sport back in the day. So realistically, in medieval times, only sportsmen actually lifted things. That's how, that's an equivalent level of stupid. No, everybody had to work. Everybody had to hunt. What are you talking about?
Wait. Let me guess. The meat comes from the merchant.
Yeah. What do you mean that the peasants had to hunt for things? Just go to Walmart.
Come on. Freaking skillish. What are you freaking hungry? You're freaking skillish, you man.
I get my meat from Walmart. Why couldn't they?
because wild game is full of valuable resources, and in part because the hunts themselves made great murder practice for knights. Two factors that are going to be even more applicable if we're talking about magical monsters rather than deer or foxes.
You have genuinely no idea what you're talking about. Holy shit.
Wait, hold on. What did he say?
He said that hunting was good murder practice for knights. Do you think knights were running around with a sword trying to strike down bunnies and that was somehow helping their fucking war tactics? Are you stupid?
I feel like that statement in and of itself would upset a lot of HEMA people. like, okay, let's actually think about it. Okay, so cutting a deer's head off with a claymore. Is that the same as...
What are you talking? Do you really think a knight is chasing around a deer in the forest? Are you retarded?
I know things make really good human analogs for cutting tests and stuff like that, but I think we lost the plot somewhere down the line.
And to thank chat, I was worried at the start of this video that I might agree with some things and it would make a less interesting video. Oh, holy shit.
Same. It's how could you...
This gamer girl levels of illiterate, holy wow.
Why don't they just go to Walmart?
Oh.
None of that's to say that fantasy worlds have to be 100% historically accurate. That wouldn't be very fantastic. But historical precedent is vital to crafting even the most imaginative of worlds, because
No, it's not. Nobody gives a shit.
Okay, historical precedent is really stupid to say. Believability? That's fair. I'd say, if anything, historical precedent is irrelevant when the world itself can be something that you basically make yourself.
The fact that a fantasy world has a temp agency for hunting monsters, which are a thing that exist in their world, does not, beggar belief for me.
No, because it makes sense, because when you have something that's particularly difficult to deal with and you develop an industry surrounding dealing with these things, you kind of need something to keep track of who actually gets the money at the end of the day, especially when you have a lot of people going after the same things.
My fantasy world needs to adhere to the historical precedent.
Dude, what it needs more than anything is it needs consistency and believability. Neither of it's really that hard to make if you're willing to at least, stretch the, push your imagination a little.
Yeah, Red Garden Chat says, I'm not saying fantasy needs to be realistic, but that's basically what I'm saying. I'm not saying my fantasy needs to be realistic, but if it's not realistic, then it's not good.
Look, all I'm saying is, why couldn't Sauron have just made a Glock? I mean, they had the industry. They had, I'm pretty sure they could have developed machining capabilities over there.
Yeah.
The best model that we have for how civilizations tend to behave. And the mark of a great world builder is how well they can justify deviations from that model with good answers to tough questions.
No, the mark of a good writer is somebody who can bring you into their world, not somebody who can convince you that their world is a slightly altered version of the real one. That's genuinely lazy writing.
Honestly, just being real world, but with this singular thing, that's the reason why Morning Glory Milking Farm is terrible. I'm not going to stop talking about it. That book genuinely has been upsetting me.
I do want to go back a little bit, chat, just so we can be clear on his stupid statement.
Imaginative of worlds, because history is the best model that we have for how civilizations tend to behave. And the mark of a great world builder is how well they can justify deviations from that model with good answers to tough questions.
Yeah, his whole thing is a good writer should be able to just take the real world and justify changing it a little bit. Bitch, I could do that. It's not hard. It's literally the easiest possible thing you could do. Because your whole world the world is built for you in that case. And everybody already understands the baseline of it. So it's really not hard to convince.
The real world, and the real world sucks.
Yeah, it's really not hard to convince people that something exists in the real world, just slightly different. We do it all the time with animals, right? And it's genuinely not difficult to convince somebody that there's just something slightly fake that's in the real world.
Look, all I'm saying is, like, you ever, like, notice how your vision doesn't feel right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that reality is fake, but, like, I'm just saying it doesn't all add up. The math doesn't math, guys.
Yeah. I think a fantastic example a little bit is for like most of human history, everybody was convinced like a kraken was a thing. And then for most of modern history, we were convinced that it was just bullshit that they made up because they mistook something else in the water. And then one day a kraken washes up on the beach.
I'm also going to say another thing.
Like, it's not hard to just kind of plop this shit into the real world.
A lot of those things on the map were honestly just decoration. It's because it looked cool, okay?
Yeah.
Right, look, like, you know, it's just the guy's like making a map and he's thinking, okay, but like let's add a dragon or something over here. I think they'd be like really wizard because they said wizard back then. It's being cool.
Like, it's really not hard to convince people of a slight deviation in the real world. It's not the mark of a fantastic writer. It's how like most misinformation proliferated through most of history was just a guy telling you some bullshit. And thank you, Internet Zen Master, for the 10. This is great murder practice for knights. My entire European bloodline was triggered by that statement. I've got multiple noble pre-1000 AD ancestors. Knights chasing deer would be a waste of training time. Y'all know what he's talking about, like that knights went hunting as training.
I'm gonna be honest, like 80% of your work, like in terms of like working on your martial prowess, 80% of that time is going to be you freaking reading, most likely.
Probably.
Like, you're going to be reading some manuscripts about how a specific technique is performed, or maybe even just looking at specific techniques. Probably a bit of time, of course, like working on your form, but like most of it's not really going to be like going all out there. Hunting a freaking deer for that is so much extra time that could have just been done quickly with a friend, for instance.
Apparently a couple of people have claimed that medieval writers such as Alfonso IX of Castile noted that strategy and exertion required to track and corner large and dangerous game, such as boars, bears, and stags, closely mirrored the reality of battle. I will say, so if you search up, did knights go hunting as training? Granted, everything at the top is AI overview. Every single citation is a YouTube video called YouTube ASMR Historian, How Medieval Knights Trained. Literally every single link is his video.
All right, listen. I think we should listen to this guy because his words make the back of my neck feel tingly.
Yeah. I also have to point out that one reason I know this is false, or I know that on the whole it's likely false, is most knights weren't trained. Most knights just kind of were... They were peasants that just happened to have, like, a sword. They didn't have armor. They just kind of had a sword.
I think the rank of knight itself was a thing that did hold some significance.
Like, that was a specific class of it. But there wasn't, like, an army of just well-trained, knights in the same way that we have a well-trained military today.
Well, I mean, like, I don't think that their entire military would have been knights. Most of it would have just been peasants. Like, I think knight was a specific rank. Well, I think it was both a title as well as a military rank, though I can't really say with certainty because
There were a couple different things.
On things, but like I don't think it was quite exactly at least like what you're kind of seem to be implying there is like that they're like anybody who basically fights in a war is a knight, which is not the case. Unless that wasn't what you meant, in which case.
Some knights were, in fact, nobles LARPing.
That does not surprise me, but you gotta remember, they had some pretty cool armor, and some very funny armor. You ever see, like, the really big cod pieces?
Yeah.
Those are peak.
That's the thing why this is, like, a weird discussion to have, because he's talking, like, in such, definitive terms. When it comes to, like, medieval knights and soldiers more broadly at the time, it was, like, really broad and random as to what happened. Or, like, how they were trained, how they were outfitted, if they were outfitted at all.
Country to country, it varied heavily.
Yeah.
Because you gotta remember, hatred of the French is a historical tradition.
Thank you, Karnak, for being a super fan over on Twitch for 2 months. Much appreciated. And thank you, Internet Zenmaster. Would depend on the time period. Crusader knights were all over the place in terms of social class, but landed knights were pseudo-nobility. Yeah, so it's weird, because he's like,
Crusaders were literal randos, at least in the early Crusades.
Yeah, it's just weird, because he's going, well, it needs to have, like, historical accuracy, and this is how it happened. It's like, that probably happened for some people. Not for most. It was pretty random what exactly happened.
Yeah, if I recall correctly, it might have been the first crusade, but one of the early crusades, I'm pretty sure the Pope just kind of put out the word as if you put a red cross on if you wear a red cross and you go to war for the Holy Land, then you will be guaranteed to go to heaven.
Yeah, he's like, you get fast tracked to heaven.
Which, like, I don't think we can sign off on this one. It's a bit. I feel like we might be making some promises there, but so that's why there's so many bad people up there.
Purpose does an adventurer's guild serve, not to gamers, but society? What could possibly make a state want to let essentially an independent freelance militia operate within its borders?
Because you live in a world that has monsters all over the fucking place.
Because it's convenient when they're freelance, because when they die, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Why would the army not be dealing with monster-related problems and reaping the associated rewards? What if...
Because they wouldn't get paid. They would get paid through the state.
effect does ceding those resources and that authority to private individuals have on politics or the economy? On that note, who's even paying for all these quests in the first place? And what do they or the adventurers get out of running their monster part trades, surveying contracts, bounties, and such through these middleman organizations instead of just working with each other directly? Far too many gamer fantasies just completely ignore all that.
First
also,
off,
the middleman agencies make it easier for you to actually find work.
Yeah,
like you can't just get in touch with some noble. That's not how these things work. There's process.
So before I say it, because somebody in chat says these points are covered in most of these stories, they are. In fact, most of these stories do directly address this stuff. However, I'm going to pretend he is correct and that these stories don't address that stuff. It's because it's really fucking obvious that anyone with two brain cells to rub together. Like, I can sit down and come up with literally 50 different explanations for why this place exists. And you can't even come up with one. And me and Shiroy had the perfect example earlier for why they would do this instead of sending the military. Because if the adventurer that gets sent out doesn't come back, well, they just don't get the money. And they get to basically
frankly, it doesn't matter. You didn't have to train that guy. He may not even be local. Frankly, he may be a foreigner. You may honestly benefit a little bit from him dying.
Yeah, you didn't have to send your men out. You didn't have to mobilize your military. You didn't have to pay for supplies. You didn't have to, like, risk the lives of your own guys.
All you was just give him a handful of silver coins and he's happy. You don't even have to spend as much money on them because to them it's probably worth significantly more than that. There are so many reasons to hire some rando to do it.
Yeah. Like, we could literally sit here and think of a million reasons. It's like, why do you think there's so much private business in the real world, dude? Why doesn't the government just handle it?
Even if it's cheaper to do it yourself, it might just be more convenient to send somebody else to do it because the overhead's just so much more otherwise.
Yeah.
There are so many reasons, too.
Yeah, government-funded dungeon raider sounds really inefficient.
Oh, God, can you imagine the paperwork if it was government-funded? Like, you have to, like, freaking months just waiting on getting freaking paid. Ugh.
And what happens if you show up and there's, like, literally nothing there as well? Like, you just got kind of bullshit, now you've wasted deploying your military over there. Also, the military kind of needs to stay close to the medieval city because, you know, it's the city.
Also, like, just because there's monsters doesn't mean there isn't, like, conflict with other countries as well. Like,
yeah.
Let's be honest, people just freaking hate each other, and it is very easy to, you know, find an excuse and any sign of weakness, like, you know, like, you can't deploy, like, half of an entire garrison of knights to go deal with the dragon just because of,
yeah.
Because that could potentially be a political threat.
He's so dumb. I don't know why he can't figure this out. Maybe he's pretending he doesn't get it so he can have an excuse to extend the video out.
Adventurers Guild exists because the protagonist really needs an instant support network after getting isekai'd or some governing body to...
Actually, in a majority of these anime, the protagonist does not need the Adventurers Guild. Like, almost every time. The Adventurers Guild just gives them an excuse to point them in different directions.
And even then, the Adventurers Guild itself could also be its own form of bureaucracy that the protagonist has to deal with. There's honestly a lot of benefit to having it incorporated as well.
I'm trying to think of, like, anime that don't utilize the Adventurers Guild in an interesting way. Because Overlord, the Adventurers Guild, actually only exists in one city, and it's used as an excuse to be like, well, he can't just go around and do whatever the fuck he wants. You have to be sponsored by the state. And if you're not sponsored by the state, you're not allowed to go on adventures, so fuck you.
It's just the government trying to keep the little man down as usual.
In Konosuba, it works because it's like keeping this gaggle of retards in line. It's specifically there to, like, shackle them together because they're too stupid to do it on their own. And it's played for jokes. Like, I genuinely can't think of an Adventurers Guild where I'm like, this is a key part of the story and I don't understand why it is. If it's a key part of the story, I know why it is. And if it just exists in the background, why do I have to care that it exists in the background?
That's another element as well. It's background. Like, regardless of how you look at it, it's almost universally going to be background.
Yeah.
The amount that it matters is so... Eesh. It feels questionable to even care, honestly.
It's really, really useful in Goblin Slayer because it shows that there's, like, all these unfulfilled requests for killing goblins that nobody takes because they think they're low effort and not worth the time, when in reality the goblins are super dangerous and wreaking havoc in the countryside.
Because killing goblins just is not sexy work. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It isn't.
Nobody comes back to, like, town and says, I slayed a goblin. It only came up to my knee. Like, no, you're not the badass adventurer walking in the door.
I'd like to see somebody doing that, though.
Thank you, Internet Zen. It should be noted this dumbass is demanding realism. Medieval Europe relied heavily on free guild militias instead of standing armies. The German states and Swiss were famous for mercenary bands. Standing armies were very rare. Which is true.
Standing armies are a logistical problem. Like a serious logistical problem.
Especially when you don't have that much wartime going on and you have very limited resources. Like nowadays, because of logistics, it's a lot more reasonable to have a standing army. Back in the day,
No.
there was no reason to not have everybody on deck making fucking wheat and shit.
And like I'm gonna be honest with you. Anybody who understands anything about the inner workings of the United States military would understand that maintaining an army is an incredible logistical nightmare.
Yeah,
When you really sit down and try to understand it.
I don't understand why they just have a standing army deal with these goblins. Because it's a lot of fucking work. It's a lot of bureaucracy. It's a lot of money.
Not to mention the number of resources that just end up going to nothing because somebody messed up a number or something happened.
Yeah, so
Not to mention,
just tell a room of 5 idiots, whichever one of you bring back's the head of the monsters, you gets the gold. Bing, bang, boom, it's done. I mean, we do this today, by the way, technically, where whenever, not for like, obviously military stuff, but I mean, we sort of do, but that's a complicated story.
Blackwater does exist.
Yeah, but the government does like bidding for jobs all the time among private citizens. Like, yeah, it's specifically government sponsored, but they do bidding to private entities literally constantly.
Oh, actually, you want a really good example? Actually,
Yeah.
I believe Blackwater is a pretty good reason why those Somali pirates that were a bit of a thing for a while there aren't really much of a problem now.
Yeah, they kind of just did that.
Because it's too because you're really thinking about it. It's too much of a problem, like logistically, because politically it's difficult, and it's also just kind of small potatoes compared to other things. Like it's one of those things where it's like, whose problem is it really?
Yeah.
I'm a mercenary. Suddenly the problem goes away.
Thank you, Start Now, for the 5. Just raid the dungeon, Dungeon Raider.
Yeah, jackass.
And thank you, Archmagos. Oi, you got a license for that adventure and whimsy? Very true, very true.
Imagine you just want to go see things that have never been seen before, and then you got to deal with.
Also, yes, Scythe,
bureaucracy.
bounty hunting is a thing. We literally have registered bounty hunters in the United States.
That's mostly just people who jump bail, but yeah.
Yeah, but it is a thing we have. So him sitting here like, why would the government not just deal with this themselves? We already don't do that today. And we have like way more reason to do it today than we did back then.
Dude, sometimes, like I said, sometimes it's just easier to just put some rando on a project. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
Manage the employment contract with the party that just banished him, and that's it. It's there because the story needs it there, and once it's there, it is likely to warp that entire story and the entire story's world around itself, because these guilds are just such darn useful writing tools. Can't figure out how to get your hero where they need to be for the next arc? Put it on the quest board. Need to create a sense of power progression? Give them a rank up. Need a place for them to meet a new ally or rival? Hey, the guild tavern's right there. In that way, this place that has no place within the world becomes our hero's primary point of contact.
You're gonna hate to hear this, Jeff. This is how all jobs today, like specialized jobs, already function.
You know what really upsets me about this too? It's the fact that this could be literally anything.
Yeah. It's
like I said earlier, it's a semantic argument. It's just the name, it's the title of the Adventurers Guild that he's basically trying to
but it's
talk
like
about here.
This is already how specialized jobs work in the world today. Need to know the next point of your career progression? Go to like a networking event. Need to meet more people to help you like progress? Go to a networking event. Like it's kind of just a thing we do. This is just a dedicated networking place.
Like one size fits all things have a tendency to exist regardless of how much you want it.
Also, yeah, ranks don't really
regardless of
matter
how-
as much in a lot of these. I've never seen too many anime put a huge focus on ranks.
Honestly, the rank just kind of is one of those things that it exists. Typically, it exists to gate the progression to prevent the protagonist from killing themselves early on.
Yeah.
Because you want to do sexy work, but no, you gotta pick flowers for your first job.
Thank you, Project Libertad. It says, is it me, or is Jeff forcing a deeper voice in his newer videos? He sounds like he's trying to be a hood weeb. I don't know, maybe. I don't listen to enough of his content. Thank you, Insulin T. By this guy's logic, there shouldn't be local police, just have the National Army handle it. Also true. It's kind of the same thing. And then thank you.
That's another benefit of adventurers as well. They're there.
True.
Don't have to move them around anywhere. Typically, they're just kind of there.
Thank you, Heavenly Jester. The Overlord Adventurer Guild has many branches and doesn't get involved in political wars. In Season 4, Ainz absorbs the Erantel Guild to focus on exploring new lands versus extermination on monsters. Also true.
Anyways, I'm gonna go use the bathroom real quick.
Oh, we'll wait for you to get back and we'll talk to chat.
Sorry.
How much are you willing to bet that this dude loves the state? Oh, he definitely does. He's Canadian. Canadians have like a really annoying obsession with the government. Like a positive obsession with the government. And it's like, do something else, brother. Why do Canadians have the worst takes on the internet? Because they're America's retarded little cousin. Our healthcare sucks ass. Jeff Thu has been more of a script reader, huh? I mean, he's always had scripts. There's nothing wrong with a script. It's just, if you're going to write a script, you gotta have your stuff in order, which is why I don't do scripted videos. Because I'm kind of lazy. But if you do a scripted thing, you gotta have your stuff in order, and he just never has it in order. He's kind of just winging it and hoping it works when he's writing it. This is the first time I've heard somebody complain about the Adventurers Guild, though. Like, maybe it's happened many times before. This is the first time I've ever heard of it. I've never heard someone say, oh, the Adventurers Guilds are like, they're really cringe and gay, and we need less of those. Thank you, Bandog. Who needs military, police, firefighters, etc. when you can get a bunch of social workers to do everything? I forgot that was an argument people were making for a while. They're like, oh, we need less police. We can just,
I'm back.
Oh, welcome back. Ah. So I don't know if you've seen it, but, Destiny 2 has 2 different things on the front of Steam right now. Which is Destiny 2, The Edge of Fate. Top seller, ranked number 20 in my region. Mostly negative. I believe that's Destiny as a whole. But then there's another one, Destiny 2 Renegades. And it looks like it's an expansion that has to do with Star Wars Renegades.
What? Destiny did Star Wars collab?
I mean, it looks like it.
Why is it that we can get, like, Star Wars to be in anything but something that's just freaking Star Wars?
It can be in anything but something good. But yeah, we were just...
Like, where's my Star Wars Power World collab? Come on!
Yeah. Thank you, Insulin. Says, we have a good view of the government because the CBC and overbearing speech laws. I mean, fair. I'm not saying all Canadians suck. I'm just saying the Canadian government sucks, and a lot of Canadians have a propensity to suck off the government. Not everybody, just a lot. And then thank you, Start Now. Puddles or puddlings? That is the question. I always went with droplets. But, you know, you guys can come up with your own name.
Rude to me. I don't know why.
What does?
Puddlings.
Ah, fair.
Also, it doesn't really roll off the tongue very well.
How to spell Shiroi? It's with I's instead of E's or Y's, if that helps you.
Entire civilized side of it, filtering every bit of the setting that the writer did bother fleshing out through this physical embodiment of a video game menu and giving it the same artificial aftertaste. And this isn't just detrimental to immersion, it also hamstrings storytelling, as every major player in the fantasy world is now forced to play around this blatantly video gamey, often politically inert plot device.
Name like one anime. Like, I'm confused by what anime he's even talking about.
It'd be a lot better if he gave examples.
Yeah.
Like,
because he keeps showing different anime, and I'm seeing them, and I'm like, this,
like you can
that doesn't happen in this
a
anime.
lot of things. You can easily show a clip and like not explain anything, but sorry.
Also, thank you, Magma, for the raid. It's much appreciated.
Thanks.
But no, like, I don't get it. You could explain, like, an anime and then tell me why that happens. Like, give me some examples.
Like, I'm sure they exist.
Yeah.
I'm sure they exist, but, like, you know, at least, like, sit down and explain. Like, I know it's hard to explain when there's just nothing, but...
Yeah.
It becomes a spanner in the gears of organic, character-driven social conflict that good world-building is supposed to create, and all but forces the writer to fall back on cliched formula. Of course, it's not impossible to tell a good story around a guild. Mushoku Tensei is absolutely peak.
Also, another thing I want to note is, like, not every story has to focus on the politics of the world. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah, some people don't give a shit about the politics.
Like, I'm gonna be honest, some stories are... I don't want to say it about art necessarily, but some stories are just kind of throwaways, honestly.
Yeah, and it's fine to have a throwaway story.
It's just a one-shot where the creator just kind of threw something together, you know, and... I mean, I know that's, you know, you can... If it hit the point where it's supposed to be an anime, that's... There's a lot of questions.
It is fine to eat McDonald's.
Yes!
There's no problem with it.
Chicken nuggets. It's not real chicken, I know, but come on.
Exactly. Like, it's fine to eat McDonald's. Not everything has to be something that comes out of fucking Gordon Ramsay's kitchen. And sometimes I don't want something fancy out of Gordon Ramsay's kitchen.
I'm a bit afraid of some of the stuff that comes out of Gordon Ramsay's kitchen after seeing some of the people that have walked in there. Ugh.
But, like... And sometimes, I specifically don't want something out of Gordon Ramsay's kitchen. I just want a chicken nugget.
Some days, you just want some cheap crack.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be nice cocaine every day, you know.
Thank you, Artemis. What Adventurers Guild stole this guy's lunch money? He's got like an odd hate boner for this concept.
They have refused to pay him what he is owed for at least 3 months. It's getting to him. He cannot afford to do any more expeditions because of this.
But the guild is mostly a means to other ends there, providing funds for the actual adventures. The only part of the story that's really driven by just taking random quests off the job board is the arc where Rudy is profoundly depressed, which I think maybe says something about the emotional texture of that particular plot structure. Now, I did quite enjoy how Sentenced to be a Hero handled its Adventurers Guild, which was by basically just not having one. The organization that bears the name is really just a loosely affiliated band of thugs and killers working under a former pirate lord who went semi-legit. It's an explicitly amoral entity that causes problems from basically the moment it's introduced and ultimately betrays humanity in a desperate grasp for wealth and power, as one would expect a bunch of mercenaries to do.
Do you want to know something? I was gonna say, do you want to know something really important, Jeff? these twists on the concept of an adventurers guild physically do not work unless there is a baseline adventurers guild. Like these twists and these plot points that you like so much physically cannot work without a baseline adventurers guild.
Also, alongside that, mercenaries aren't bad by themselves. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
They are a politically inert concept, actually. They exist to be paid to do things. And sometimes what they do is not good. Sometimes what they do is... doesn't matter.
I mean, like, the main characters of several of the Fire Emblem games would be considered mercenaries, specifically Radiant Dawn and Path of Radiance.
I think Ike is the only... I guess technically Byleth, but, like, that's, like, for, like... Like, Ike is a mercenary throughout the entirety of Path of Radiance.
Yeah, it's about the Grail mercenaries.
Being a good guy, but... Well, yeah, I mean, like, you know, like that's just what he's doing the entire game. Then
well, I mean, every
Violet, who's like a mercenary for like the opening of the game, and suddenly just changes his freaking job all of a sudden.
Yeah, and becomes a teacher. We don't talk about Three Houses though. Three Houses is the worst Fire Emblem.
Yes.
Don't you guys just love Subversion? We all love Subversion, right? I think that's... I really have to, like, hammer that home, though. I think a lot of people who love subversive media don't understand that subversive media physically cannot exist without a baseline.
You need something to subvert.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, but subversive media is so much better. Yeah, well, it doesn't exist if we don't have the baseline, so you should be happy for the baseline.
You think about it, it's kind of weird how often...
Also, another thing to keep in mind is that another thing to keep in mind about subversion as well. You also need to actually make something when you subvert something.
Yeah. You can't just subvert it
like,
for the sake of it.
Yeah, because if you subvert it for the sake of it, you don't make a good story. You have to actually put something in its place afterwards.
Yeah.
Adventurers guilds are instrumental in saving the world. Now, I say that, but one of my favorite explorations of the trope, period, is in the Legend of Heroes Trails games, which are in no small part about the political complications of running such an organization and the ramifications of it existing at all. Smaller countries tend to love how the guild supplements their military and police, but those organizations have their own antagonistic relationship to the civilian contractors that are taking their job, separate from public opinion or how the overall government feels. There are also bigger countries where the guild has no presence at all because the leaders see them as a threat, even though they have a strict policy of not interfering in politics. The series does so much to make this inherently fake concept feel like an organic part of a living, breathing world.
It's not an inherently fake concept. It's something that still exists today. So stupid. Oh, it gives me
Look,
such
I understand
a headache.
that it's hard to wrap your head around because it is a little bit difficult, but in fantasy, they're called adventurers. In real life, they're called Indians. Okay?
You know, it tackles the complicated relationship with how bringing in temp workers from another country displaces the workers that are already there.
What do they mean by this?
Like, do you hear yourself? What do you mean? You wish that was a fictional concept.
Oh, it is all too real.
God, he's such an idiot.
Stupid adventurers coming into my village, taking all the good jobs, and working for even less than anybody else is capable of working for.
I also think I'm a bit more inclined to like the Bracer Guild just because they don't call it an Adventurers Guild. This is definitely a personal nitpick, but I find the idea of adventuring as a day job to be deeply philosophically underwhelming. It's not that I don't like stories about ordinary jobs in fantastical worlds. Drifting Dragons, Planetests, and Interspecies Reviewers are all among my favorites, but
Of course, Interspecies Reviewers is one of your favorites. You are aware that's just a hentai, right? Like, that just...
Yeah, that one is basically just hentai.
That confuses me. It's like interspecies reviewers is one of my favorites. Like, it's about two guys running around fucking monster girls. What?
You know, now that you mention it, it does give a lot of tourist energy, honestly.
With plot? I'm
Like, you're
aware it
just
has
kinda
plot.
like, you're just kind of throwing out words at that point.
Chat, I'm not saying interspecies reviewer is bad. Interspecies reviewers is good. However, if somebody like Jeff tells me that one of the best adventurers guilds he sees is in interspecies reviewers, I immediately think that you have not actually watched that show. That is my takeaway from that.
There's an adventurers guild and interspecies reviewers.
I guess. I'll go back, but that's all I can assume he means, because that's what we're talking about.
Another thing, by the way, that's really stupid here. Semantic argument.
But I find the idea of adventuring as a day job to be deeply philosophically underwhelming. It's not that I don't like stories about ordinary jobs in fantastical worlds. Drifting Dragons, Planetests, and interspecies reviewers are all among my favorites.
Okay, he's talking about ordinary jobs in fantastical
I saw a
worlds.
freaking astronaut there. I don't think that's an ordinary job.
Yeah, well, it's ordinary jobs in fantastical worlds, and I guess he's trying to say like, oh, well, it's an ordinary job to review things, not sex workers.
I mean, it's like I wouldn't really call that. I wouldn't even really call being a reviewer in any context an ordinary job necessarily, because let's be real here.
And the thing is, it's not like an ordinary job in a fantastical world. I could go out and review prostitutes today. I probably couldn't admit that I paid for them, but yeah, I could go out and I could review prostitutes today. That's not something that has to exist in a fantasy world.
Did not like Diamond. I did not like her. She gave me a disease. Do not recommend. 3.5 out of 5.
Yeah.
Adventure definitionally has to be a break from routine. If someone is fighting monsters and exploring dungeons every single day for a living, they're not an adventurer, they're a gold farmer or a
Unless adventure is a title, which it is. Like, I don't... That's like saying you can't be a soldier if you spend all day on base training and you've never fought in a war. Like, I don't think you understand the premise of the job.
I mean, you're still committed, I'm just saying.
Yeah. You can't be an adventurer if you adventure all the time. Says who?
Like, are we really over here gatekeeping the concept of being an adventurer?
Imagine saying you couldn't be like a travel blogger if all you ever did was travel. It's like it's kind of the idea. I don't think you understand. That's kind of the point.
Delver, Dungeoneer, Mercenary, Monster Hunter, Explorer, Seeker, Cave Raider, Bracer. Call them whatever you want. Just call them literally anything else, please.
Again, semantic argument. Adventurer is something that we understand because of our appreciation of RPGs.
Exactly.
We understand this term, and it's an effective catch-all. Even if you change the term, someone, somewhere, is going to use it. I do not care how much you want to sit down and be like, just use some other word.
Like, at that point, you're not actually complaining about the trope. You're just complaining about the terms they use to refer to it.
Yeah, sure. They use it a lot. That's because people understand it.
Barachagato says you could probably get away with it if you reviewed her on camera, then she's just an actress.
Oh, that is true.
Oh.
That is true.
Or better yet, do something else. If you
AI breakdown of all of our techniques.
Yeah.
dungeon in your story and absolutely need a guild to manage access to it, fine, but instead of making them a catch-all guild for every kind of dungeon explorer, maybe have them work with other guilds for mages, rogues, and warriors, buy equipment from the armorer and fletcher's guilds, and sell materials to merchants and alchemists. Or better yet, let those guilds post their own quests in their
I don't understand where he's going for this, because even in anime where there are adventurer guilds, other things still exist. The adventurer guild is not like a catch-all for literally everything.
Seems focused because I'm gonna be honest, I don't think anybody cares where the protagonist is buying their armor from.
Yeah, it's one of those things like what's the famous quote? How come we never see somebody take a shit in a movie? You know they do.
Because the director is a coward. That's why.
It's one of those things like, you know they do it. Just there's no point to see it. No one wants to sit down and watch it. Unless it is for some reason critical to the story, nobody gives a shit that in between adventures, the adventurers went and sold all the crap that they pulled up. Nobody wants to watch them haggle for 20 minutes unless it is literally a story about haggling. In which case, you probably have a Japanese guy who is ridiculously autistic about economics, and he'll make it interesting.
I just want to see the protagonist start having a mental breakdown while a gnome tries to rip him off for 6 minutes.
Yeah.
He could go to any other shop to sell this stuff off. At this point, he's just here because he feels like he has to get a good deal.
Yeah.
It's pride on the line.
Dalahan says, oh no, he's thinking of guilds in the form of Skyrim, like Mage's Guild, Dark Brotherhood, etc. Yeah, he does feel like he's somehow making it more gamey. Like, he's sitting here, he's complaining about how gamey Adventurers Guilds are. It's like, why don't you just go sell your materials to the Armorers Guild? Okay, buddy. Yeah, all the armorers are in a guild.
Also, like, you know, does the armor need a guild as well as another really good? Like, are these guilds even necessary? Okay, maybe mages. I can get mages.
I wouldn't call it a mage's guild, though. You'd probably have, like, a mage's college. Which I admit, chat, yes, is very Skyrim-y, but mages are supposed to be studying and dorks and shit. So, like, a mage's school or a mage's college.
You know, unless they're cool mages who are more of a I will let this knowledge die with me, which is giga-based.
Thank you, Internet Zen. Adventure as a job in fantasy is part hunter, part archaeologist, part mercenary. This tourist is so bad he doesn't know merchant guild are a thing. Yeah, that is one thing. In every anime, there's a merchant guild. Like, every time.
And for some reason, there's a very strong gnomish presence in all of them. What's up with that? It's weird.
Their own guild halls and hand out their own rewards for killing monsters outside the dungeon. You're not actually making a video game. You don't need one monolithic entity to act as your quest hub.
You're literally talking about Skyrim. Like, 100%. You're... Not just Skyrim, but like Oblivion as well, although I assume more or less you played Skyrim. Like, what about other guilds handing out other quests? You're just making it more gamey.
How long until somebody takes an arrow to the knee?
Exactly. Also, thank you, Insolent. Tarantino had a guy take a shit in Pulp Fiction.
I'm sorry. So I make so many gnome jokes.
It's funny as this goes on, this whole video about the problem with gamer anime, and his entire solution is just make it more gamey. Like, game it out the shit. Make everything as gamey as humanly possible.
Have an entire loop where the protagonist goes into the dungeon, kills some stuff, gets loot, and then he is immediately directed to another dungeon.
Yeah.
Like make it to where Todd Howard wrote this anime.
Like, he really is just trying to say anime should be more like Skyrim.
Look, all I'm saying is, Todd Howard did make a pretty good anime.
Agency,
Have you seen those Skyrim mods? It's anime.
True.
school and power scaling leaderboard, so all those things can be in one nested menu. Instead,
why do you want a power scaling leaderboard? Fucking weirdo.
Also, do not mention power scaling in this house.
Absolute hoodweed behavior. Now he wants the power scaling to be built into the anime.
We're gonna like declare what level our guy's at. This guy right here, building level.
try spreading those duties out to a bunch of different organizations with their own different needs, strengths, weaknesses, and this is the crucial part, reasons to f with each other. Maybe the merchants don't like the thieves for self-evident reasons, or the mages and alchemists are competing for influence.
Also, okay, hold on. Concept of a thieves guild is freaking retarded.
Yeah. Like,
you cannot organize thieves under any circumstances.
you can't organize thieves, and there's no way there would be a public-facing building that was like, so by the way, this is where literally all the criminals who stole your shit congregate.
The concept of the Rataway existing is really stupid. I guess maybe the Rift and Sewers are supposed to be bigger and lore than they actually are in game, but like, the point is,
at least you can argue they're
area,
technically hidden.
Someone has to have a map of those sewers. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. The excuse you can give Skyrim is technically it's hidden, and technically they're paying everybody off.
Actually, they are basically they're an institution in Rift.
Yeah,
I think about it.
Yeah, they're technically paying everybody off, and they're technically hidden.
Which doesn't necessarily make the concept of a thieves guild much better. It still is pretty, like, like...
If everybody knows there's a thieves guild, you have failed at your thieving.
Also, keep in mind, they can keep a secret if two are dead.
Yeah. See, somebody said dark guilds.
And everybody goes to...
The Dark Brotherhood works because they're not like illegal. A guild of killers. They're literally religious zealots who genuinely believe they're like literally a cult. They're not so much in Skyrim. They are in all the other games, though. They're a cult. And that's the only reason they work. With the Thieves Guild, it doesn't make any sense.
That's what I like about the Dark Brotherhood. I like the fact that they do it. They do it for what they do it because they have to do it.
Yeah. Internet Zen Master Thieves Guild is literally just a mafia or a cartel. I mean, technically.
Yes, but the point still stands that you can't have a meaningfully organized thieves guild. Like in the framing that he's giving right here, the Thieves Guild, the Merchant Guild should be functionally unaware of the existence of a Thieves Guild.
Yeah. And then Baracha Gato says, you can totally organize thieves. Just look at the IRS.
You know what? Thieves Guild works. I apologize. Never mind, just make it work for the government.
With the nobility. Perhaps the church distrusts the Delvers Union for their proximity to that obviously demonic dungeon, or maybe some bishop is just using that rhetoric as a justification to have the paladin-affiliated warrior guild take their place as dungeon gatekeepers. The more you decentralize the power structures your world is built on,
the problem is you fundamentally want a different show. You're not actually advocating for better writing for an existing show. You're advocating for a fundamentally completely different show.
Alongside this, I feel like we've gone on such a massive tangent. Like, can you make the show where the Adventurers Guild is just literally anything, everything, local government included?
Yeah.
Like, what are we talking about here? How is the Adventurers Guild like handling all the mages and all of that?
Exactly.
Like, I get maybe if you want to do the concept of maybe certifications, but that's still its own thing.
the easier it is to pit them against each other and make some interesting shit happen that doesn't have to start on the job board. In Chrysalis, there is both a semi-secret society of OP dungeon crawlers called the Abyssal Legion and a separate guild of adventurers who are really just monster resource farmers and rarely make it past the top layers of the dungeon, but still think they're hot shit. The Legion has power and influence with the surface kingdoms, which it uses to heavily regulate the flow of resources in and out of the dungeon.
Also, could you
just
put some freaking panels or something?
Yeah, it took me a minute to realize because I thought he was talking about a Final Fantasy server called Chrysalis,
No,
and I was
Final Fantasy 14 gameplay.
He's shilling for the book again. For some reason, I thought there was a Final Fantasy server called Chrysalis, and there's ones that are close to that.
Like,
but then I realized he's talking about the
some-
ant story again.
Look, I get it. I understand. Your Zoomer audience is physically repulsed at the notion of any amount of stillness for even half a second. You can just like move the picture side to side. Something, just give me something related.
Also,
like Dali or whatever to animate it or something. I don't know, man.
yes, chat, you can see it at the start somewhere, but this video was in fact a sponsorship for some kind of ant manhwa. Yeah, right here. It's called Chrysalis.
It's not a manhwa. It's made by an Australian. I don't know what their.
Oh yeah,
I don't know
sorry,
what
it's
their stuff
Australian.
is called.
It looks like a manhwa though. They use the same style.
Honestly, and I'm gonna be real with you, I don't like the manhwa style.
Yeah, I never really liked it.
It's too generic.
You think he had
Like,
involvement
it's
with the
like-
ant webtoon? Kind of feels like he does.
And try to stabilize its monster ecosystem, while the guild would very much like to usurp that power and milk the dungeon for all it's worth. All of which ends up coming to a head in some of the most fun and unpredictable moments of the early books. Danmachi does just have the one adventurers guild, but it's really just a mediating force between all of the different familias and the gods that lead them, who of course have their own rivalries and relationships with each other, and the adventurers under them have similar relationships, and it just creates a very messy situation where organic conflicts can naturally arise. Speaking of dungeons though, how to do them right is really a subject that deserves its own full video essay, but if you'll permit me just one brief comment on the matter, please stop putting fucking floor bosses in them unless your anime or book is actually set in a video game. You can have all the big cool monsters you want gating the hero's progression to the next floor, just don't call them bosses, and especially don't have them infinitely respawn so that every party trying to clear the dungeon has to fight all the exact same big cool monsters as all the other parties in the exact same order.
What are you talking about?
I feel like you're nitpicking. This feels so specific.
It feels like so hyper specific, and I don't know what anime you're talking about.
Like there's gotta be like one singular anime that just specifically irked him.
Like you're calling them floor bosses, and supposedly everybody has to refight them every single time, and they're infinitely respawning. And what specific anime are we talking about?
Also, why can't the Adventurers Guild just be a fraternity where we kind of just force everybody who's lower level to do stupid stuff that they don't actually have to do?
Also, thank you, Temp, for the raid. Much appreciated.
That's just called fun.
Yeah. And then thank you, Kendra. At this point, Jeff wants Isekai to be the DMV.
Yeah. What's it?
Red Garden Chat said he showed a clip of Bofuri, but that is literally a video game anime. That's what I'm saying. Like, so his criteria for this complaint is it's not a video game anime. There are floor bosses that are specifically called floor bosses. They are infinitely respawning, and everybody has to fight the same one over and over again when they get to that floor. I'm trying to think of the specific one he's trying to talk about.
It's just so specific of a thing to complain about.
that you should have just said like in this anime. You know?
Like, dude, seriously, again, a previous thing. Please give us an example, dude. I am grasping at straws here.
Yeah. like in this anime, this happens, and I think that's bad.
Alright, cool. You gave us an example.
See, Alex, you said SAO does it. The problem is SAO doesn't meet two of. Yeah, SAO doesn't meet two of the criteria, actually. The first one is it's a video game. The second one is that floor bosses don't respawn.
Yeah,
Once it's dead, it's dead. Everybody can pass to the next floor. That was the goal of SAO.
Or at least
also said Danmachi.
Not everybody isn't required to fight it.
The problem with Danmachi is when he just said did it well. So now I'm like more confused. If this is a genuine complaint, he's like, well, Danmachi did it good.
He's just all over the place here.
And if he gave examples, we could like nail something down. But instead, we're just supposed to assume the anime he's talking about.
That shit feels.
And I'm gonna be honest, without a solid example, it's really hard to like you're basically doing abstractions at this point.
Yeah. So I have to figure out like what fictional anime you're talking about and then argue against that.
Anime that I think we'll all agree sounds like trash.
Yeah. But you're adding so many qualifiers to it. It's like, I don't think this exists anywhere.
But DMV, but anime, I support this concept wholeheartedly.
Stakes and video gaming. Sword Art Online didn't even do it. Look, I'm not saying your dungeons have to be ultra realistic and.
What anime are you claiming is worse than Sword Art Online?
Wait, hold on. He just lists off a bunch of anime that, in fact, did not do it. What are you talking about then?
That shit feels so boring, low stakes, and video gaming. Sword Art Online didn't even do it. Look, I'm not saying you're.
Like, I don't. What are you talking? Like, what fictional anime are you talking about that is so bad that Sword Art Online didn't even do it?
The dungeons have to be ultra realistic and devoid of game logic. The idea of a self-sustaining underground magical ecosystem is one of my favorite things about.
I will say this because somebody in chat says, "How is that low stakes?" He is taking concepts and just blanket saying this is bad. And it's like, first off, I don't know what anime you're talking about, and it's important that we know what anime you're talking about because the concept itself isn't bad.
Also, the context freaking matters.
Yeah. Like, depending
really
how it's executed.
To look at a concept in a vacuum and say this is terrible, actually. Like,
yeah.
Dungeon Meshi, Made in Abyss, and Chrysalis for that matter.
Stop bringing up the fucking ant thing. You've already got your sponsorship out of the way.
We don't care about your freaking ants.
But if you just want to have a big evil magic hole in the ground full of monsters, puzzles, and maybe some lore, that's cool. I like those. All I'm saying is, if you're gonna make me spend a whole episode watching a guy kill a big cool monster, it should stay fucking dead. Jack of all trades, stakes of none. Boom, got him. I sat through.
Are you really talking about the Jack of all trades anime? The one I mentioned at the start of the stream. Do you actually hate that anime? It's not bad. I don't know why you have such a fucking problem with it. So I feel like we've got our answer. He is talking about the Jack of all trades anime.
He's just complaining about the Jack of all trades anime.
Here, I'll pull up the actual full name. It's Jack of all trades, Party of none. And it's basically a guy who gets kicked out of his party because he's not particularly, like, stand out in any one specific area. But he's so, like, flatly good at everything to a decent amount across the board that obviously it makes him extremely effective, right?
This man is so aggressively mediocre at everything.
But it is literally everything that he is mediocre at.
Like, get spec into those heavy and light armor. It's like, Guy really went for the bit, didn't he?
So he is literally talking about Jack of all trades, party of none. So, okay, I guess it's really not that bad.
Like 8 more episodes of that show.
Also, he talks about like, oh, it's so low stakes to not have the monster die. Did we forget that in SAO there's a scene where 1 billion people start wailing on Kirito as hard as they can, and his health is regenerating faster than they can deal damage because of some bullshit skill he picked up? And it's like, you want to talk about low stakes? We're in a death game where one of the guys' health regenerates so fast that death is not a problem.
Guy has so much defense, so much HP, and such high regen, functionally immortal.
Yeah. Plot armor.
Can we make a video on Sword Art Online's level scaling? Because that honestly is kind of garbage when you think about it.
Yeah. So I guess this whole thing was to complain about the Jack of all trades anime.
Research for this video, and I feel like I watched.
Wait.
Jack of all trades, stakes of none. Boom! Got him. I sat through like 8 more episodes of that show as research for this video, and I feel like I watched literally nothing. It's solo leveling minus the hype and aura. It honestly put in perspective how little of a problem stat screens and skill points really are in the grand scheme of immersion-shattering video game nonsense. Even without any of those things, it feels more like watching a bad Let's Play than almost any other anime, and like half the dialogue in the game they're playing is tutorials. That said,
So your entire complaint, this entire 30-minute video, is just so you can bitch about Jack of all trades. You are such a fucking weirdo. Genuinely.
This could have been framed as, I just don't like Jack of all trades.
Yeah, or like the problem with Jack of all trades. Instead, you did fixing gamer fantasy anime and proceeded.
You want to know why? You want to know why? One of these is a significantly more interesting title to go for the YouTube thumbnail.
Yeah. Like, Also, yeah, I have to say, he talks about immersion shattering when people still play the games. I want to sit here and be like, yeah, no, these are shitty ideas that don't go anywhere. Solo leveling, one anime of the year. Sword Art Online is literally on like season 8 or 9 now, and is still
making Sword.
Yes, it is still ridiculously popular, and it has like literally 50 games under its belt at this point, and people pay like out the shit for it.
I'm extremely apathetic towards it. I might check out the new game that's coming out. Maybe, I don't know.
Like, I'm not saying they're good anime. I genuinely think they're bad. But you're sitting here like, oh, it's just like it clearly like ruins everything. Like, nobody wants to watch this shit. No, people want to watch this shit in spades. All like,
you gotta remember, the taste doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
It's just hype and aura at this point.
Exactly.
And I am here for it.
Putting a video game HUD in your anime is just about the most glaringly fake thing you can do to a non-VR MMO world, and it's a big pet peeve for a lot of fantasy enthusiasts. It even bothers.
You're not a fantasy enthusiast. Shut the fuck up and go sit in your corner. I hate when people do this.
If you haven't read Tolkien, I don't think you can call yourself a fantasy enthusiast.
Yeah. I hate when people do this. Like, it's such a huge pet peeve for us real fans. You're not a real fan. That's why you don't like these. You literally do not like the content you're claiming you're a big fan of.
Being a big fan is liking the wrong things, not liking the right things.
Yeah.
Or not liking the correct things to like, because that's what consensus is.
I have never watched an anime where they pulled up the stat screen and thought, oh wow, that just ruined this whole thing for me. But it's just, and I can't even read the stat screen half the time because I watch pirated subs all the time, and they don't typically have like
As God intended.
Yeah, and they don't typically have the stat screen subtitled, so I just kind of go off what information I know. Like, typically that's HP, that's attack, that's defense, in that order. That one's probably level because it's the smallest number.
Half the time, the abbreviations are still in English because that's just how it is in RPGs.
Fair, they do sometimes do HP, MP, that kind of thing.
I mean, sometimes it is just kanji, and you gotta make assumptions. But
yeah, but it's
you
like
know what? Making assumptions is what language is all about.
It's literally never bothered me. Thank you, Ultima. I'm sure he did this so he could fool people into listening to his rant about this one series. Yeah.
Like I said, the problem with Jack of all trades is not as interesting a title or subject matter as talking blankets talking about issues with fantasy anime. I'm just saying it how I see it.
Back in the day when these sorts of things first started coming into vogue, except in Overlord and Slime, because those anime are, you know, actually good, I kind of just got used to it there very quickly, in fact, as is the case with any good anime that does such things. And while I do really like how, say, Danmachi makes its stat readouts a diegetic part of its world, I don't even think that's strictly necessary if you want to build an immersive fantasy setting around RPG systems like that. Ultimately, I've reached the conclusion that game UI is just another kind of signifier that tells the viewer, okay, this show's gonna be like this other show you're familiar with, in the same way as
Congratulations. You just learned that shows use common information that they're keenly aware you're
genre.
Yeah. That they're keenly aware you're going to be familiar with in order to signal what kind of show you're watching. Congratulations, you figured it out.
I feel like I'm beating up on a
retarded child.
He's got problems, you know. Like I feel kind of mean here.
It's just like, this is somebody that's trying to claim like, oh, I'm an anime essayist. You know, I do all this deep diving and shit, and it's like, You just figured out what genres and tropes are today? Like,
it's like tropes in and of themselves are not bad.
Yeah.
in a glowing aura around a muscled up martial artist, or a mage spewing particle effects out of her staff, or a dude cutting a boulder in half with a sword. It's just one of many types of magical aesthetic that some people fuck with, and if you use it, you just have to accept you're gonna lose all the people who don't.
No, you are not about to play dirty fence sitter!
Yeah. Well, it's not even that.
You are not about to play. It's okay. Don't worry. That's just my opinion. You sit down here being all authoritative this entire time. You cannot play dirty fence sitter.
I also like how he says, you're going to lose all the people who don't. I watch tons of stuff that has like one or two things in it I don't like. What are you talking? You're going to lose every single person who doesn't like this one tiny thing.
Just because somebody likes lore-heavy stuff doesn't necessarily mean they can't tolerate something for not being lore-heavy. Because, dude, the world-building challenges associated with half of the stuff you have talked about would complicate production so much. Yeah, it's cool when you do it, but, like, dude, I think most people understand it is... Not every anime has to be the greatest thing ever. Yeah.
Yeah, Dalahan says you're going to lose people while talking about the most popular shows. Yeah, like, you're sitting here talking about fucking Danmachi and Sword Art Online and Solo Leveling, and you're like, you're gonna lose all the people who don't like that one thing about it. Yeah, apparently that was worth it, considering they're some of the most popular shows on the market.
I guess not many people disliked it.
Yeah, like... thank you, Internet Zen. He says, maybe I'm just an old head for anime and don't have time to keep up with new anime, but why doesn't he just not watch Jack of all trades?
Because then Jack of all trades wins.
There is a huge segment of Anituber that refuses to not watch anime they hate. They specifically want to watch it so they can bitch and moan about it.
Because you gotta remember, negativity pays.
Yeah.
That's just how it, negativity always does better than positivity does.
Those people
This is just kind of a
still
universally
complain
agreed upon fact on YouTube.
Yeah.
Don Machi, after all, even though it puts so much extra work into justifying the numbers on a lore level. Now, the numbers can suck all the tension and strategy out of fights by objectively confirming that Protag-kun is in fact stronger than the guy he's fighting and doesn't have to worry about anything.
All right. Power levels. Even Akira Toriyama admitted power levels don't matter.
Yeah.
They were never supposed to matter. The concept of the power level was always supposed to be refuted in the story by the fact that the protagonist manages to beat a character with a significantly higher power level than themselves. If anything, the existence of the power level increases tension because it shows just how much you stand against.
Exactly. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
That's just as true of power levels in shonen. By the same token, choosing skills and spells from a drop-down menu does kinda demystify your fantasy world, but not significantly more than any other kind of hard magic system does once the rules are fully explained. It just has that effect quicker because anyone who's played a video game before has a head start on understanding those rules.
That's a good thing. That's the point. So we're not sitting here.
Speaking, shorthand is very useful in writing.
It's like, shorthand is bad. No, shorthand is good, so we don't spend 2 hours trying to explain how this guy learned a new skill.
I mean,
and we could just continue the story.
Explain stuff, that's cool, but having a simplified way of explaining it is honestly not something I think most people are going to take issue with.
Which also means they have a head start on getting to the fun theory crafting, power scaling stage of enjoying those rules. So it is definitely a trade-off on your fantasy world's overall level of immersion, but it has some serious upsides. Part of the reason that gamer isekai, those fucking things, and lit RPGs are so addictive and share so many fans between each other is because so much knowledge is transferable from series to series. As soon as you finish one,
that's called a genre. I don't know if somebody needed to tell you this. That's called a genre. And that applies to literally everything. Like how people who like CSGO can be good at Call of Duty. It's because they're the same genre. You're saying this like this is a new thing you just learned today.
You can jump right into another and get more of what you were enjoying on at least a basic level.
By the way, this is the very first time he has shown a clip of the Spider anime, and it is 22 minutes in. This is the literal first clip he's shown of it.
He doesn't get it.
Problems only really arise when a story fails to move past that basic level and just gives you yet another guy who's really strong and fast and good at everything.
The famous scene.
Okay, I talked about it earlier, but dude, my only issue here is just I can't remember how big the level gap was between him and all of these guys, but my mentality here is just kind of nasty is the level scaling of this game.
Exactly.
Anybody can just pull that kind of garbage.
It's a horrendous game.
Everything because his numbers are so big. That's all fine and dandy for Baby's first lit RPG, but as soon as you get a taste for the harder stuff, it loses its appeal. The best game.
Your fucking ant book is not the harder stuff. Shut the fuck up. You are genuinely making me hate this ant book, and I've never read it. And somebody in chat even said it was a good book. You were genuinely making me hate it.
gamer fiction uses that shared knowledge pool as a jumping off point for dreaming up hyper-specific builds and weird, broken, synergistic skill sets that could never exist in a real game because it needs to be balanced.
Here, he hasn't used the spider anime as anything at all, and yet he's using like now he's talking about like good stuff, I guess. He's not now he's playing greasy fence sitter.
Yeah.
Where he tries to basically be like, but this it can work. And now he's showing spider anime clips, but I guess it just wasn't remarkable enough to talk about during his earlier explanations.
Yeah.
To ever use as an example. It's weird. I don't know.
Azazel says, is spider anime really that complex in its mechanics? So if you decide to watch spider anime, it is not complex in its mechanics very much at all. However, what throws people off with it is it's telling two different stories at two different periods in time. And one of them speeds along substantially quicker than the other, so they can meet at a central point later in the story. That part confuses a lot of people. So you have to kind of keep that in mind when you watch it. That's what, from what I gather, causes a lot of people to drop it, is they don't get the timeline. It's actually very simple.
Apparently the anime was kind of botched though in comparison to the manga and the original web novel though.
I mean, it wasn't perfect, but I like the anime.
And
that's my understanding of it.
Yeah.
Too hard for new players to understand. In Shonen Power System terms, it lets you jump right into coming up with part 5 and 6 level stand concepts without having to lay the groundwork of parts 3 and 4 first. And those systems succeed or fail by a lot of the same metrics as a Shonen Power System. So long as the skill sets or spell lists or what have you are tailored to reflect the main characters' personalities and their foes challenge them to use their powers in interesting and creative ways that the viewer or reader is able to follow and anticipate by paying attention, they're probably going to have a fun time, and that's all you really need. You can, of course, go further with it in the same way that shonen like Hunter x Hunter or Jujutsu Kaisen can integrate their power systems much more deeply into their settings and themes.
You're coping. I feel like both of those are like very generic. Yeah, you could do it much more complex and deep like Jujutsu Kaisen or Hunter x Hunter. Like, no. They are very generic, my brother. They're shonen. They're literal bottom of the barrel.
He really is a hoodweeb, isn't he?
Oh, 100%. And then Insulin says, balance, has he discovered any Get OP and X game videos? Yeah, he's tried to be like, oh, you can't do this in any video game. Actually, there's a lot of video games you can. There's an entire YouTube channel dedicated to breaking video games.
So I'm a spider, so what? Has a whole religion that worships the skill system, which is a fun, logical extrapolation of what might happen if everyone in the world had a magic voice in their head that gave them magic powers. Chrysalis takes the idea several steps further with multiple dungeon-worshipping sects and cults split by vehement.
Show us pictures from the fucking book. Also, you are not shitting on spider anime to plug your fucking ant book.
Like, dude, it's like, show me some freaking stuff. I get it. The Zoomers can't watch that stuff because it doesn't show it anyways. I don't care. Give me something to latch onto. Jeez.
You know, spider anime is kind of alright, I guess. But in my ant book, shut the fuck up about your ant book. I'm tired of your fucking ant book.
I don't want your ants. I prefer the kawaii spider. You wanna know the difference between the spider anime and the ant book is? The spider anime has a cute girl as a protagonist. The spider. Slightly less weird. Only slightly.
Oh.
Still weird though.
dogmatic disagreements on optimal builds.
Oh, also, yeah, chat mentions that the voice only speaks to the spider. It's kind of clear because we see other people level up and have skill windows. Nobody talks to them when they do. Like, it's genuinely only the spider that has a voice that speaks to them.
Oh yeah, that probably spider has hacks.
Strategies and the ethics of EXP farming. But all of that is just meat. So long as the gravy's tasty, folks will eat your gamer slop right up. For the tastiest possible gravy, though, it is best to add...
Don't like the way he used that term. It feels kind of disingenuous.
A little bit, yeah.
I'm sure that wasn't intended.
Oh yeah, Rolling Dodge mentions this. Me and Kendra watched a previous video from Jeff where he was trying to advocate that the best way to watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure was completely out of order. I forget what his specific order was, but it was something wild, like you should watch 5, and then you should watch 3, 2, 1, and then you should watch, skip back ahead to 4, and then skip ahead to 6. It's like, what are you talking about?
I ain't touching that with a 10-foot pole. If that's your if your reading order is like people sitting down telling you how you should watch the Star Wars movies, I ain't touching that.
Add a little bit of visual
Chronological
spice. Aside from making it play boring, I think the worst thing you can possibly do to your fake game is make it look boring. And holy shit, do a whole lot of gamer fantasy anime ever look like Excel spreadsheets and default RPG Maker templates?
Because that's what Japan likes.
Default RPG Maker template always goes hard.
Yeah. I'm not gonna... Here's the thing. I don't normally like using this argument. It is a cultural difference. Japan loves the spreadsheet. They absolutely adore the spreadsheet. I know that Americans aren't a huge fan of the spreadsheet. The Japanese are. That is why they're such big spreadsheets. They like it that way. And that's fair. You cannot like it that way. It wasn't made for you. It was made by Japanese people in Japan that have Japanese sensibilities. They like the spreadsheet.
Just a teensy bit of UI design in your menus can go a long way, and you can go a whole lot further with that design because, of course, nobody actually has to interact with them. I think my all-time least defensible nitpick of Sword Art Online has gotta be saying that the menus should have been thought-controlled. Nah, those drop-down touch interfaces are absolutely fire.
They are not. You do not play video games. Having, like, the most basic fucking menus nested within 50 other drop-down menus is such a pain in the ass. Holy shit.
It looks good on camera.
Yeah, it looks really good on camera. If you are playing it, it is horrendously painful. That is why so many PC games have single-button hotkeys to open every single window you could possibly want.
Because, yeah, that freaking sucks.
Yeah. The 200 nested drop-down windows in Sword Art Online are absolutely fire. No, they're not. They're horrible. I hate them so much.
It's aesthetically cool for like 5 minutes until you realize I have 400 more hours of this.
Yeah, you sit down, you realize, shit, every time I open my inventory, I have to open 6 different windows.
I have to freaking pull up a drop down for like the equip and unequip buttons on a piece of armor. I can't just tap it and it equips. It has to be a drop down.
Yeah, like those menus are worse on consoles. Oh yeah, no, I agree. On consoles, absolutely horrific. And the thing is, they're worse in VR than they are on PC. And you have to remember, Sword Art Online is technically a VR game. And yes, I know it has like higher responses than like the VR we have today. But in regular VR, having everything within 200 drop-down menus is just a pain in the ass, and it gives you a headache.
I mean, in my opinion, if it's difficult to do with the freaking mouse, it's not a good menu.
Exactly.
Like if you can't, like if mouse only you can't really deal with that menu, it's not good.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. So there's an entire chat mentioned it, but there's an entire arc in Log Horizon where they're trying to learn how to use skills without the menu, because attempting to use the menu in their what's basically VR for them is such a horrendous pain in the ass that it basically makes it impossible for them to respond to attacks.
That is peak. That actually is really funny.
Yeah, so there's actually an entire arc of them trying to learn how to specifically use their skills without having to use the menus. It's a small arc, granted, it's like 1 or 2 episodes, but it really drives home that feeling of like it's a real game world.
It shows that they understood.
Yeah.
I feel witnessed. And that makes me uncomfortable because I don't like being witnessed.
Or not fun watching Kirito flick through a menu, which is more than I can say for watching Kirito fight. In many cases, game UI also comes part and parcel with flavor text and system voices, which can do just as much, if not more so, to kill the fun if they read/sound boring. Far too many anime, web, and light novel writers treat those aspects as an excuse to fill some time with dry, repetitive, low-effort technical descriptions when they should.
You are not showing off spider anime when you're talking about this. You are such an asshole. What is your hate boner with spider anime? Is it just because you see it as like competition to fucking Ant, whatever?
There's a pretty sure spider anime came out before that, just saying.
Yeah.
Actually, wait, no, it's a pretty old series, actually, because it did, because, you know, like the original web novels, like the original story and all that.
Yeah. I don't know. Spider anime definitely came out first by a long shot.
Oh yeah, no, like it might have been like, I'm pretty sure at least 2010s.
Yeah.
Be using them as an opportunity to inject some extra flavor and personality into their worlds. I don't think it's controversial to call the AI from Dungeon Crawler Carl the definitive example of how to make the system's voice a compelling character in its own right.
I have no idea what you're talking about. There's literally no fucking clue. Dungeon Crawler Carl?
Its sadistic game show host personality and not at all disguised fetishes imbue every item and skill description with delightfully dark humor from the word go, and the gradual unraveling of its psyche is one of the series' most compelling subplots. It makes every new item and skill we discover feel as rewarding for the reader as it does to the characters, and that being my intro into the genre, did kind of set me up for disappointment with almost every other lit RPG audiobook I've tried.
You're weird. I don't know why you're so obsessed with like item descriptions. Go play Dark Souls.
Item descriptions need to exist.
Yeah.
Dude, okay. Here's like a bit of a thing here. One of those things that kind of is a bit of a gripe that I have with the like Etrian Odyssey, for example. Every description is typically really short for everything.
Yeah.
So like I want to look up. So there's an item in the game that increases a character's attack. I want to know how much does it actually increase, because increases attack is not exactly a flat thing, you know,
yeah,
like that can mean a lot of different things depending on
give me a number.
Yeah, like it's typically going to be a percentage. I had to look through so many spreadsheets just to figure it out. Never figured out what it actually does. Please give me more descriptions.
No, Midnight Ninja, enjoy your book, right? This guy is just weird. He's gonna ruin anything you talk about.
Too much information is not necessarily a bad thing. I'm just saying.
But thankfully, Chrysalis was...
He says it again. He mentions it again.
They better have paid you really fucking good.
Isn't one of them, and that was one of the first things that really sucked me into it. It makes it clear very early on that the system voice, Gandalf, is a dude with his own agenda that may or may not line up with Anthony's, and while it doesn't quite have that same laugh-out-loud factor as the system...
Oh, by the way,
that's Gandalf. Really?
No.
Really? And you're talking about other anime being derivative. Are you joking?
I swear.
Some AI.
It's very
It is still
derivative.
I can't take it seriously. Oh.
very rewarding every time Anthony unlocks one of the full monster profiles with design notes from Gandalf that reveal more about his plans and personalities. And the full-on conversations he gets to have with Gandalf whenever he evolves are a brilliant way of tying milestones in Anthony's power progression to some of the story's most interesting lore reveals. Low-key, one of my favorite things.
Again, it's so I'm a spider, so what?
This is, I want to note, it's the guys that paid him that are the only ones who are actually, like, that he's actually going into serious detail on. I just want to note.
Exactly, yeah.
About this season's The Strongest Job is apparently not a hero or a sage, but an appraiser provisional, is how it handles Protag's support voice, Sapo-chan, who gradually evolves from a neutral exposition dispenser into a proper character over the early episodes. I also really like how it mixes things up by having the gods speak directly into his brain, a conceit the show frequently mines for comedy gold. You don't have to go the funny route with this, though. You can also make it a little scary, like roll over and die, or put some Dark Soulsy lore tidbits and mystery breadcrumbs in your descriptions.
My hot take is a lot of Dark Souls item descriptions kind of suck. And I genuinely feel like a lot of them were written by different people that didn't actually know how they were supposed to be connected together.
For what it's worth, it's not uncommon for games to have that issue.
Yeah.
Especially because the more people you got working on stuff.
Need some reason to care. If you can't make your system voice at least as entertaining as a Pokédex, your story's probably better off without it in much.
So first off, Pokédex was not entertaining. I've never heard anyone say the Pokédex was entertaining.
I think he's being sarcastic, but I'm just saying.
I mean, he might be.
I think when he says that, he says it is like, you know, that's like, you know, bare minimum. Though for what it's worth, to be able to take it literally, it is a pretty, like, come on.
But I am going to risk getting beaned on copyright just so I can play this again. And here, I'm going to have to screen share it to you because it'll be the easiest way to do it. I don't know if you've seen this before. I know some people in my chat have seen this before. Just let me know when you got it pulled up.
Alright. Hit me.
Dreadnought, Dread.
Who's that Pokemon?
Let's find out.
Dreadnought, the bite Pokemon, a water and rock type, and I don't know.
Why is the Pokedex being ooh?
That is in one of the newer seasons of Pokemon. That is Jesse and James' actual Pokedex.
I miss when the Pokedex was a godless machine that felt nothing.
Is that real? Yes, that's real. That's the official dub. Dwenda, the bite Pokemon, the water and rock type, and I don't know.
Dwayna!
That, like...
They're freaking with me.
There's a compilation on YouTube of every time the Pokedex, or they had their Pokedex speak.
To be fair, it's the Rotom. I don't care. I don't care. You know what the idea of making the Pokedex be Rotom? I am so sick of Rotom being over. Rotom was cool back in the day. Now he's just too much.
Yeah, everybody apparently just has a Rotom now, because every Pokedex is a Rotom dex. It's like, why do we all have
Also,
Rotoms?
It's kind of weird having your Pokedex. Every Pokedex is a miniature poltergeist living in it. That is kind of a.
Also, is
I don't
Rotom
know
just
how I
all
feel about
technology
this.
now? Like, is my computer Rotom? Can I not watch porn without my Rotom watching me?
I don't care. I don't care if that is the case. Rotom is Rotom. You're gonna have to deal with it.
Is it only Team Rocket's decks? Only Team Rocket's decks, and the excuse is that it's a bootleg Pokedex. And their Pokedex is just retarded. Like, it can typically get the name and the typing right, and then it just doesn't know anything else.
I figured it out. They got their bootleg Pokedex runs on the Ubuntu operating system.
It's the same
They
way
went a
that
little
it's
bit too hard on that stuff.
Yeah.
Had to be very kawaii, as the kids call it.
almost certainly better off without an adventurer's guild. At the end of the day, the
Oh yeah, I forgot. This was about Adventurers Guilds. You didn't really explain why they'd be better off without them.
I checked out for a minute there. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, this whole thing was about Adventurers Guilds. Somehow.
So even that is a matter of how you use it. Game elements are narrative tools, just like any other trope, that serve to streamline some aspects of storytelling while restricting others. The key is understanding their utility and limitations and making them work for the story you want to tell
I've seen the start of that hentai. Anyways, continue.
instead of against it. If you are a storyteller, then I hope this video helps you do exactly that. And if you're just a gamer slop enthusiast, I hope it makes you better able to identify the really good shit when you see it. I'm
You cannot. You have no idea what's good. You tried to insult spider anime, you dick. Just to shill your ant book.
It's at least heavily implied
Yeah.
that he's insulting spider anime.
Oh,
It's
God.
sick.
What a dickhead. Why can't I move me? Why does he keep grabbing you? It's because of the wings.
Typically, I pull up the menu for it, but
But yeah, no, that was, what an asshole. Oh, this whole video was an ad for the ant thing? It kind of was.
I used to watch this guy. It really, dude. I swear, it's like on one hand, you know, I get it. We can advertise something and be honest about it, but at the same time, dude, come on. You
Yeah.
should really know that optically, the fact that you're advertising this means that you kind of are coming on a bit of a bad. You're kind of on the back foot here as far as, like, you know, convincing people it's the best thing ever.
Yeah. And you should probably not be insulting other more popular things while you do it.
And also maybe be a little bit more conservative about how much you talk using its good graces.
Exactly.
Because, like I said, dude, you're being paid. I think we'd feel about the same if you were talking about pretty much anything else.
It just... I think spider anime is mid, but I'm not going to be a dick about not liking it. You know, it's fine if you don't like it. He's just, like, obsessed with, like, oh, it's bad because of this, it's bad because of that.
It's because he's talking about anti-anime. It really is the freaking that specifically.
I don't know, like they had to be paid him good.
Like, for real, dude.
Whatever. I hope you guys had some
He's
fun with that.
authentic.
Ooh, Amal is still streaming. I'll send you guys to Amal. Actually, I need to double check. It says she's been streaming since 4 p.m. Is she actually still going?
Those are rookie numbers. That's only 8 hours.
I mean, fair. I'm just
or
gonna
9
make sure her
hours.
stream is still up before I raid into her. Oh
No,
yeah,
like,
no, she's still
down
gone.
at 10 hours, but per day, 7 days a week. Frankly, I think you're not really, your mind, your heart's not into it.
But I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Go follow Shiroi if you get a chance. After stream, I'll put her thing in the description. But that video was giving me such a headache. Like, I was genuinely about to lose my shit. Also,
Like, this
you know what?
guy's
Chat
popular?
is correct. I should raid into Royan. I'll raid into Royan. Because I was...
I don't know, I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say I was supposed to submit a song for Royan's thing, and I forgot about it.
No, yeah, he's in that thing, isn't he?
But what were you gonna say?
It just astonishes me this guy's popular.
Yeah, I mean
Like,
he'll always be popular with like the midwits.
Not as fair. It's like midwit anime tourists. That is his, and that's a big demographic.
Yeah, it's the whole community now.
Tragically, that is a big demographic.
It's like the whole community now, and it sucks. But night, everybody. Love you guys. We will see you guys on Tuesday. I believe tomorrow, if it is up and available by movie night, we will watch the Amazing Digital Circus movie. What was that? Do you have thoughts?
No, I was just yawning.
Oh, fair enough. You are also free to join if you ever want to. But night, everybody.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys later. And next week, hopefully, Kendra won't be sick anymore. Bye.